Ladies and gentlemen, after years of searching all around the world for the perfect guitar, we finally found it. And this is the one. Hold up, I thought this was the perfect guitar. Well, you're both wrong. This is the perfect guitar. Okay, when it comes down to being practical, all three of them are the perfect guitars, and technically none of them are the perfect guitar either. And here's why. What's up guys and welcome back to TUGGtv. Now over the past few years that we have had this channel, we have multiple viewers who kept on asking us which is the best guitar in a certain price range. Which is better, guitar A, guitar B? Or which guitar should I go for, because people say A but I feel B is better. And this got us thinking, is there such a thing as the perfect guitar? Now if you ask us, the perfect guitar is pretty much subjective to every person, like how food is to everyone else. Some people like an extra pinch of salt, while the others, well, prefer a bottle of Tabasco in their food. So this little video is aimed at providing you guys with as much information as possible in finding the perfect guitar for you. Now, as we've talked about in other videos, there are a ton of guitars out there in the market with, well, a lot of features. And the only person fit enough to figure out the perfect guitar for you is always gonna be you. Now let's face it, in this day and age of information, there are quite a lot of opinions which you keep getting hit with whenever you try to search for a guitar which you need. But that's the thing that we need to keep in mind here. Most of the information which is exchanged here are just opinions of other people, not facts. Now what we might consider as a perfect guitar, the best tone wood matched up with the best hardware and the most supreme of electronics, might not mean a lot to someone else out there. Now on the other hand, there are quite a lot of people who make beautiful music with instruments, well, which we might consider worse than firewood. Now quite honestly, it becomes really difficult to know where to draw the line with all of these so-called experts who are there on the internet. So with that said, we here at TUGGtv wanted to give you an insight into what exactly makes the perfect guitar. The guitar has to look good. Now let's face it, aesthetically there are going to be quite a lot of guitars which kind of vibe with you whenever you see it. Now the main idea of having a guitar which you like is essentially something to get you inspired, something wherein the moment you see it you feel like picking it up and playing it. Now it's pretty obvious that if the guitar is something which isn't very visually appealing to you, it wouldn't necessarily be something that you would pick up and practice all the time. There are quite a lot of instances wherein the kind of guitars which we are pretty much attracted towards are kind of based on the different idols that we've had through the years. The people who have inspired us to pick up the instrument, or the bands which have actually formed our image of music in our head. Now do keep in mind, if you have a guitar which you love but then you just don't feel it looks visually appealing, there are multiple ways by which you can refinish your guitar, well, by yourself or by a luthier as well. Get your hands on the guitar if you can. Now let's face it, a lot of us would love to just sit at home, go through all the different websites, see a guitar which is visually awesome and then just pick it up. But that's where quite a few things can go wrong. Something which is actually good on paper might not necessarily translate to being a good instrument for you. So get your behinds into any of the local shops which have the guitar that you need, or you can pretty much ask your friends if they have any, or if you're playing a show with other bands and one of the guitarists there has it, well, just ask him if you can noodle on it for a couple of minutes. Now the more you do it with different guitars, well, there is a possibility that you will have one of those Harry Potter moments wherein the moment you hold the guitar in your hand and you start playing it, it feels blissful. Now actually playing the guitar not only gives you a possibility of seeing how it plays, but also gives you a frame of reference on how the guitar actually sounds. A lot of things what we see on the internet might actually be edited quite heavily and might not give you the actual tone what the guitar has. So rather than being just disappointed by what you get later on, well, it's always better to do your own research, right? The tuning stability. Now let's face it, if a guitar can't keep its tune, this is never gonna be the right guitar for you. No matter how expensive the guitar is or the name or the logo on the headstock, it ain't gonna change anything. Now we honestly can't stress on how important it is to make sure you have a guitar which stays in tune. So make sure you yank those strings, bend them to hell and back and see how well it performs. Is the guitar stage worthy? Now this is one of those things which is pretty much overlooked by quite a lot of people when they're picking the right guitar for them. Now other than the tuning stability, there are quite a few things which you need to consider. How much does the guitar actually weigh? Because if it's something which is so heavy, it kind of starts dragging your performance down if you're playing it for more than say half an hour, 1 hour on stage. How balanced is the guitar? Because pretty much when you're on stage and kind of have your strap along, A neck dive can literally ruin the whole show for you. And tying back to the whole thing about how the guitar looks, if it's something which you actually love playing on stage, well, it's pretty much gonna be seen by everyone else in the crowd. And also, let's face it, if you're actually fighting against your guitar for playing certain things, it's gonna be pretty obvious when you're on stage. Changing things up and giving the guitar a tune-up. A lot of time, few minor upgrades can actually take your guitar to the next level. Now, a few things which you guys can actually consider for sharpening your axe is firstly trying to play around with the different string gauges which are available. You might essentially be using the wrong gauge of strings for the tuning which you're in. So this would not only result in a sloppy performance, but well, it makes it difficult to play the guitar as well. Go buy yourself a million different picks and play with each of them till the point that you reach one which, well, fits you to perfection. And also, let's not forget, give your guitar the tune-up what it actually deserves. Get the action adjusted, get the intonation right, and well, if you just do these smaller things, your guitar is gonna be, well, a transformed beast in your hands. Oh, and these smaller changes are gonna be so blatantly obvious that the moment you put your hands onto that guitar and start playing, it's gonna feel a million times better. Upgrade your axe if needed. Now, a lot of times, a few upgrades on your guitar is going to totally revive the one which you already have. So let's consider this scenario. You already have a guitar which plays really well, but you feel there are smaller kinks and things like that which I can actually make it feel better. Now, rather than going for a whole new guitar, I would honestly suggest you guys to upgrade what you already have first. Now, there are quite a few things which you can consider about upgrading on your guitar. The first thing being the pickups themselves, because well, they kind of do play part in giving you the base foundation for the tone which you're building. Just by changing the tuners and the nut, there's a lot more stability whenever it comes to tuning. Now, a fret leveling job or actually refretting your complete neck is actually gonna make your guitar play a million times better as well. Okay, I've been using million too many times, I'll try to cut down on it. Now, as we've discussed before as well, if the guitar is something which is not so visually appealing, you can kind of refinish the body as well. Now, a simple example would be this guitar what I have. The body is completely refinished to a color which I love. The pickups have been changed and so have the tuners. And just like that, I had a guitar which is pretty much customized to my needs, and well, that's pretty much my go-to 7-string these days. And now coming to the last thing which makes a huge difference. Do not care what other people have to say about it. Okay, now before anybody starts losing their mind and commenting on the factor that yeah, there are a few bad guitars out there, I do agree. There are going to be certain aspects of the guitar which is more of a build quality which can go wrong. These are things that you need to hear to. But what I'm talking about is pretty much the opinion that certain people have towards the whole playability point of it and the way that the guitar sounds. Now, with the millions of opinions out there on the internet, it pretty much becomes easy for somebody to have like a preconceived notion whether if the guitar is actually good or bad. And we as humans are notoriously known for actually listening with our eyes and not our ears. So when we go to the guitar store or actually pick a guitar up, we're playing with already the preconceived notion that the guitar is going to be good or bad. And let's face it, this is going to influence your decision. So keep in mind, whenever it comes to guitars, there is no one size fits all. You have to go out there, play a few guitars, experiment on quite a lot of things on the same guitar as well until you reach the perfect guitar. Now, for all the people who have actually made it till the end of this video, let me ask you this. If a guitar looks visually appealing, inspires you to play music, can support you in all of your gigging, and well, as an all-round workhorse, isn't this the definition of a perfect guitar? Now let us know down in the comments below on which is the perfect guitar for you and why exactly it makes you feel special. And if you guys feel that we've missed out on any aspects of the perfect guitar, let us know down in the comments as well. Now, if this is the first time you guys are coming across our channel, we do quite a lot of videos like this on experiments, discussions, and well, quite a few funny ones as well. So make sure you hit the subscribe button and the bell icon to be notified for every video that we put out. Now here's to hoping that each and every one of you guys finds the perfect guitar for you. This is TUGGtv signing off, and as always, stay safe and stay metal.